Renegade Immortal Episode 124. In the previous episode, Wang Lin appeared at the critical moment, just as Yao Xixue was struggling against the destructive golden light in her body. Using a hidden plan he had prepared in advance, he sealed her cultivation, took her treasures, and trapped her in a state between life and death. After questioning her motives and realizing the cave belonged to a powerful celestial, he entered alone. Inside, he found palaces made entirely of celestial jade, powerful ceiling formations, and traces showing that someone had already broken into these chambers long ago. What will happen next? Stay tuned. And the story continues. There were some marks on the ground where the chairs and table used to be. These marks were created because the small spell that prevented dust from gathering was destroyed along with the seals in here. After carefully observing the entire loft, Wang Lin found many traces and began to piece together what had happened. From the evidence left behind, he deduced that 3 people had entered this loft before him. The first person was the one who used the 18 plum blossom restrictions, someone clearly arrogant, refined, and uninterested in ordinary treasures. Everywhere that once held valuable items bore the faint traces of those elegant but deadly restrictions. After this person left, 2 others came, but their methods were far less refined. Judging by the marks on the ground, one of them had even taken the tables and chairs. From the fine sawdust that remained, Wang Lin could tell that the later intruder had broken the restrictions by brute force, damaging the furniture in the process. After a moment of thought, Wang Lin flicked away the dust and left the loft. Behind it stretched a long corridor with a jade fence on one side and a dried pond on the other. Along the path, he saw more remnants of broken restrictions, traces of the people who had come before. In the pond, he once again found the familiar pattern of the 18 plum blossom restriction. He continued to walk carefully, his eyes constantly scanning the surroundings. Many of the fences had been damaged by previous intruders. The farther he went, the fewer restriction remnants he saw, until after walking nearly 5 kilometers, he reached the end of the corridor, where it split into 3 different paths. Wang Lin paused at the intersection, studying the 3 directions in silence. He needed to determine which path the master of the 18 plum blossom restriction had taken. That person's skill was too great. If Wang Lin followed him, there would be nothing left to find. It was better to follow the other 2 who broke restrictions crudely, for their limited abilities might have left behind some treasures. He explored each path for a short distance, then returned to the intersection. After comparing all 3, his eyes suddenly brightened. He had found the right one. He headed down the rightmost path. Though the scenery remained unchanged after about 1,000 feet, he noticed broken restrictions everywhere. Most had been forced open, and some were only partially broken, proof that the person had tried and failed. Abandoning the effort, Wang Lin examined each one carefully, memorizing their structure before moving on. The path continued to stretch forward, bordered by a fence. On the other side was not another pond, but a quiet bamboo grove. As he advanced, he suddenly halted, his lifted foot slowly lowering back to the ground. He didn't move an inch. His eyes glowed faintly as countless patterns of restriction appeared within them. Ahead of him, about 100 feet away, stood a pavilion. In the center of the pavilion sat a round table with 4 stools, and on the table rested a wine jug and several cups. Wang Lin narrowed his eyes, his expression turning grave. The restrictions surrounding the pavilion were perfectly intact, untouched. There must be something about that wine jug, he thought coldly. The person who forced his way through the restrictions reached this point and was stopped here. Taking several steps back, Wang Lin continued to observe. As he analyzed the spiritual patterns hidden in the air, his expression became increasingly serious. So that's how it is, he muttered. The restriction inside the pavilion contains tens of thousands of changes. If I step within 100 feet without understanding them, I'll trigger it immediately. Anyone who tries to break it by force would be crushed unless their cultivation was extraordinary. Even worse, this pavilion's restriction is the core of the entire area. Once triggered, it would activate every surrounding seal. No wonder the last person gave up here. Despite the danger, Wang Lin's eyes gleamed with excitement. If the master of the 18 plum blossom restrictions came, he could probably break through this. But it seems he never reached this point. That means I chose correctly. No one has passed here yet. The thrill of discovery burned in his chest. Until now, all he had seen were remnants of others' work, treasures already taken. But this pavilion, this was different. It was a mountain of treasure that no one had yet touched. Suppressing his excitement, Wang Lin sat down cross-legged and began to study. The web of restrictions surrounding the pavilion was dense and layered, invisible to most, but to a restriction master like him, it was a vast world of logic and change. For 3 days, he sat motionless, his eyes reddening, bloodlines spreading across them from the strain of constant analysis. When he finally opened his mouth, his voice was hoarse. I've only managed to see about 3,000 changes so far, but many variations remain hidden because the restriction is inactive. To reveal its hidden structure, he decided to test it. Gathering a strand of celestial spiritual energy on his fingertip, he flicked it toward the pavilion, and immediately retreated at lightning speed. The moment the energy entered the 100-foot radius, it shattered, scattering into glittering sparks. Then, a violent explosion erupted. Waves of raw power surged outward, expanding uncontrollably. If Wang Lin hadn't already been far back, he would have been consumed by it. When he finally stopped 1,000 feet away, he stared at the pavilion, eyes blazing. There were no less than 10,000 changes within that restriction. Over the following month, Wang Lin continued his study. Again and again, he used threads of celestial energy to stimulate the formation, observing how it shifted each time. His understanding deepened with every experiment. The complexity of the restriction pushed his mind to its limits, yet also broadened it. Day after day, he calculated, analyzed, and connected the patterns. His eyes were bloodshot, his body weary, but his mind sharper than ever. He forgot hunger, sleep, and even the passage of time. The only thing that existed in his world was the endless web of restrictions before him. Through this process, something within him changed. His understanding of restrictions, which had reached a bottleneck long ago, suddenly advanced. The countless variations of this grand formation became the whetstone that sharpened his mind and elevated his skill. By the end of the month, he estimated that he had a 40% chance of breaking the restriction, a remarkable feat. Most cultivators could study this same formation for thousands of years and never reach even 20%. Only ancient experts who had lived for tens of thousands of years could match his progress. If the one who used the 18 plum blossom restriction were here, Wang Lin thought, he might have 70% confidence. Still, Wang Lin did not stop. Another month passed. His calculations deepened, his insights expanded, and his confidence rose to 50%. Finally, the day came when he was ready to act. Though his eyes were bloodshot, his spirit was calm and steady. He approached the pavilion, stopping exactly 100 feet away. After a brief calculation, he took his first step forward. Nothing happened. The air remained still, and no spiritual energy stirred. Without hesitation, he took another step, and then another. Step by step, Wang Lin advanced, his movements measured and confident, as if walking through his own garden. After 9 steps, he stopped. He was now 70 feet from the pavilion. He paused, his eyes flashing with the patterns of restriction. Then, after a brief calculation, he walked forward again, another 9 steps. He had now covered 60 feet in total. It was not a great distance, but every inch had been mapped, every change foreseen. Those 60 feet had taken him 2 full months of relentless study and deduction to traverse safely. The distance of 60 feet wasn't long, but it took Wang Lin 2 months to calculate a safe path through these 60 feet. This was something not even those 10,000-year-old monsters could easily get past. In this episode, we saw Wang Lin carefully explore the mysterious loft and uncover traces left behind by 3 different intruders. By studying the marks and remnants of destroyed restrictions, he deduced their movements and eventually followed the trail of the last one, a person who broke through by force. His path led him to a pavilion guarded by an incredibly complex restriction with tens of thousands of variations. Determined to solve its mystery, Wang Lin spent months analyzing, testing, and calculating every possible change within the formation. Through relentless focus, he not only advanced his understanding of restrictions but also broke through his own bottleneck in mastery. After 2 months of study, he managed to find a safe path 60 feet forward, a feat so difficult that even ancient cultivators with tens of thousands of years of experience would have struggled to match. If you enjoyed this episode or found it interesting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to get notified about the latest episodes in Wang Lin's incredible journey. Thank you for watching, and see you again in the next video.